Live. We're live. We are now officially live.
All right. Hey guys, what's good? You are listening to the what do we call this, Daniel? I
Right
just saw
now,
the
it's
title. Oh,
coronavirus live.
Coronavirus Live. So episode 1 here. This is the first time we've ever like done a streaming type deal with each other. We're always next to each other, but if you guys are paying attention at all to the world, you know what's going on around here. You know that here in California, they suggested they pretty much shut down everything except for grocery stores, pharmacies. You can do takeout or pickup for restaurants, stuff like that. The gym is closed, the movie theaters closed, bars and
I
clubs are
know the
closed,
movie's closed.
and
I can't.
yeah,
That's the one that breaks my heart.
they want us to practice social distancing so that
Which is something I do
we
all the
don't have.
time, so it's very easy
It's
for
natural
me.
for Daniel. The not going to the movie theater part is the toughest part for you, right?
Yeah,
Since that's your safe haven for the most part, but.
pretty much. That's
But
pretty
we on
accurate.
this. We are in here. Who's so let's take a look and say what's up to the people in the chat. Normally we would have. I mean, this is like the third time we've ever.
Let's take a
Let me
look
Well,
turn
and
the
see what.
volume up of
yeah,
that.
you kind of not
Yeah.
want to hear yourself.
All right. What's up, Mamedia? What's up? Oh, me media. Excuse me. What's up, Mustafa Seven? Are we afraid? Yeah, I'm afraid. Absolutely, I'm afraid. I hope this is all bullshit. I hope it's this is all. I hope it's overblown
I'm not
the way
afraid.
people say that it is. Well, Daniel's not afraid because he doesn't leave his house except to go to Goodwill and to go to the weed store. That's that's about it. But
No,
no,
I'm just
I
not
got a lot of
not
older
yet.
people. My like
Not
my
yet.
parents. My parents are in their 70s. My aunt, my dad's sisters. She was I think 77, 76. And they're taking care of three young kids at the moment. So it's rough out here, man. I'm worried about them. I'm 400 miles away. I can't just hop in the car and go there. This is my wife's got a little cough now, so everyone's paranoid. But not enough tests out
She
there
has a
to
cough.
see or not. She's had a cough for like a week and a half. Yeah, she's dead. She's done. I'm next.
I don't know.
Uh,
I was supposed to be on a shoot. So I was supposed to be on a shoot yesterday, and got word that one of the actors was sick, and then now they want to reschedule to Sunday, and I don't know if I want to do that. To be honest with you,
right?
like I feel rude to ask like, are they what are you sick with? But at the same time, I'm also not trying to die. Um, Especially working on a movie set that's not my own production.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. And it's like at this point, if you got bills and stuff, most places are like working with you if you can't pay them, because a lot of people are laid off right now or they've got put on furlough. So, I'm even thinking about applying for EDD to
I
see what
mean,
I can, if
why
I can get
not?
anything out of it. Yeah, I got toys to buy and stuff. You know what I mean?
I
So,
mean, that's got to keep the economy going, right?
I mean, can we do a toy review show like over Skype? Is that possible?
Yes, you can do anything over the internet. You
Yeah,
should know that by now.
yeah, might have to do that. Might have to do that. Let's see.
Let's talk about who's been infected so far in terms of like who's been the surprise one for you? Kevin Durant, Tom
No,
Hanks.
after Rudy Gobert shocked the world, yeah, that was enough for me. I think starting with Rudy Gobert, and then it just made sense. Like I'm surprised more NBA players
Are
didn't
not.
test up positive, and I know people are pissed off that they're using all the tests on the basketball players, but it's like I don't know. I feel like they're in contact with so many people that like it's easier to trace who they've been in contact with and who they may have infected if they've infected anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's easier to trace that to kind of get a better idea of how the virus is traveling. Because I hear every day somebody has a different theory. It's people are saying it stays alive for 6 hours on surfaces, and I'm hearing 3 days. And I'm hearing it stays alive on stainless steel and wood. I'm hearing that it doesn't do so well in the heat because not too many people have it in Africa or I don't know what the cases are like in Australia or New Zealand right now because I know it's summertime down there. So it's all kinds of this is all kinds of overwhelming information. And but shocked. I mean, Tom Hanks when that came out, yeah, that was probably the big one. Like, wow, that's crazy. How about you? Who shocked you? Is
No
that
one,
KD life?
no one, because none of those people. Maybe Tom Hanks, but none of those people I'm like worried about, like Idris Elba or whatever. I think they'll be
Oh
fine.
yeah, that was a big one.
I think
I
they're.
just want to know, like, you know what's funny about like Idris Elba and Tom Hanks? Like, I would like them to be like, hey, I went here, I went here, I went here. You know, like the basketball players. I don't even know. Like, did Rudy Gobert go back to Europe and that's how he got it? Like,
Kevin Durant was
nobody's
probably in
talking
the
about.
club because I've seen some people, some like videos and articles about people just not caring,
Right.
just doing whatever. Well, it's not gonna bother me. It's not gonna affect me.
Let's see. Let's answer some questions in the chat real quick. Ahmed Vasser. I mean, we're kind of already are, and our state has kind of mandated everybody kind of. They don't call it quarantine; they call it isolation. They call it self isolation. So they want you to distance yourself from crowds and like do not have contact with other people unless you have to. Like for example, my wife. I can't isolate myself from my wife. You know,
I
or
mean,
my
you
son.
can,
So
if
I mean,
you
technically I
could,
could, but yeah, yeah, they want us to kind of all keep together, like in that, but like don't go out, like don't go hang out with like 40 people at someone's house if you don't have to, because you could be asymptomatic, you could pass it on. And it's right now the way they're treating it, it feels more like you might not die, nothing terrible might not happen to you, but you might get somebody in your family or someone else's relative sick that's like older, and they could affect them. But it's just so early right now. We don't know the long term effects or consequences of this,
well,
so
there.
we don't know.
I mean, there's a bunch of things too with the whole like as you kind of alluded to earlier. I mean, you kind of don't know who's right, who's not, what articles you should believe, which ones you shouldn't. Like I read an article in Reuters today about how Russia right now is currently and actively trying to like heighten.
Suppress the media.
No, 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 to heighten the fears in America. They're basically doing what they did
Uh,
with Trump and like getting us all like but it,
Basically doing the same thing they did with the election, where they're having like fake people in the chat, getting people all upset.
but they're doing it with this to make people more afraid to just further screw the markets up and stuff. And so it's like, how do you, as an observer, how do I prove that? I mean, I'm not on social media, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's genuinely why I'm kind of like, hmm, this is interesting. Like my approach, my opinion on the situation is, it's pretty interesting that we were able to pretty much stop the world. I mean, we're not there yet, but we're getting there. But in a month and a half, that's not bad. That's not a bad response time. It could be better, but everything could be better. I mean,
Uh,
it makes sense why so many people died of the Spanish flu 100 years ago because you didn't have
the
this
technology.
quick spread of information. I mean, no tests, I'm sure, back then. I mean, I told you my great grandpa died of that, so it's a different time, you know. But
Yeah.
that's the one that gets the comparison a lot is the Spanish flu.
Right. Right.
But it's pretty interesting. I don't know. It's kind of like that the old like the meteor or the asteroid scenario where it's like, oh, we know there's an asteroid that's going to come. What are we going to do? We only have 6 months. Can the world come together or not? And I think, for the most part, I think we're going towards that positive direction. That's what
I
I
mean,
feel.
I feel like the world is coming together, except for the U.S. The U.S. is like not really
I mean, we're
getting
behind,
on
but
board with the other countries.
it'll. I mean,
Like as of this morning, there's still idiots partying in Florida
yeah,
as we speak.
because that's
You know,
Florida. I mean, that's America too.
you
That's
know,
kind of you kind of have to have that.
Louisiana too. I think the big there should have already been a federal mandate, and there hasn't been. It's like, oh, every state, you guys kind of handle it yourselves. I will say one thing, like, there's no airplanes. I'm not hearing airplanes.
Well,
They're
do you
few
think
and
we're
far
gonna
between.
go eventually to martial law?
Somebody asked me about that today, and I feel like that's going to come down to how stupid people act. Like there's already been like robberies. People have already been like robbing people for their groceries. Stuff like that is going to get the National Guard involved. Is going to get martial law enacted. I think stuff like that, like people acting stupid or like people like not because right now like nothing is mandatory. Nothing that the governor said, nothing that any mayor said is mandatory. Like no one said self isolation is mandatory. It's more of a strong suggestion, but if people are like ignoring it and still going out and doing stuff and saying putting the people you got to worry about is the small group of people on the fringe that think this whole thing is a hoax and they're wiping their ass with it, you know, which is kind of what happened in Italy, which is why it spread so fast in Italy because they were told
Eh,
to like stay away. And hey, I've been listening to podcasts about this. There's an Italian doctor that did a podcast about it, and he said straight up they told people to stay home, and Italians said, "No, we're good,
well,
we're
no,
fine,
that's not why I
we're
said.
okay."
That's not why I said. I'm saying like today was the biggest spike, 500 deaths or close to 500 deaths in one day. But then I thought, at least from my short experience, my week long or however long I was there experience in Italy, there's two things: a lot of old people and a lot of smokers. A lot of smokers, like a lot. So to see that old people who are smokers are dying doesn't really surprise me that much. That's why I went, because it seems to be very contagious, obviously, as we are seeing, but also, it's affecting old people with respiratory problems. Usually, if
Okay,
you're a
well,
smoker, you have respiratory problems, especially if you're older.
well, not as many smokers here with respiratory issues. Maybe, definitely more unhealthy fat people here.
Yeah,
So
because you could be fat in
definitely
Italy, but you're gonna walk around a lot. So,
yeah. So the cardiovascular disease, I'm pretty sure, is higher here than it is in most places. Just saying. So that's the caveat to it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about my family. I'm worried about the elderly people in my life, my parents, like and so forth. I'm worried about other people's parents. So that's what I'm worried about.
I mean, the positive
That,
is
that
it's
that's
no one under the age of 9 has like
me.
contracted it
As
or
of
even.
as of right now, my son is safe. This is for sure. Um,
But yeah, you can go to the chat, see what's on the chat, see what's going on in the chat.
all right, America's most wanted troll. Fuck you, fucking fucker, fuck. Is this Brandon or?
No, I don't know who that is. It's America's Most Wanted Troll.
All right. Well, okay, cool. What? All right, whatever. So I mean, what's the toughest thing for you so far? Because I'll
Not
tell you
being
what's
able to
what's
do what
going
I've
on
been
for me.
wanting to do. Like, just going to just I don't know how to put it into words other than like going wanting to go to the gym, like all these things that I've literally been talking to you about. Okay, I'm gonna do this on Monday, and then it from when we recorded our podcast, not this one, but the one previous, the newest one we just released, until today
Right.
or till
Which is
Monday,
like eight. It's
things
like eight
change.
days ago or
Things
so.
change so freaking fast. I mean, on that day we lost MLB, we lost NBA, or no, we lost NBA first, but we lost the MLB. We lost like I don't know how many things we've lost so far in terms of every sporting event, bars, clubs, restaurants. The size went from like 250 people maximum to like 50 people to now it's 10 to now like Trump saying like if you can just stay home, So it's just
It,
it's changing by the day, quick, quick, quick. I mean, the economy's going to shit in terms of at least the
yeah.
stock market.
Do we, on a technical level? Thank you, Sunil, for the donation. Super chat donation. Is there a setting to not censor these messages? Because this is annoying. Like, you know.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, in the chat, like it keeps on like censoring people's messages and
Yeah,
stuff.
we need a moderator in here to just uncensor it, but I don't know why it does that. It's not us. It's YouTube does it. YouTube that does it. Um,
Ex Carlos, but go for it. Yeah, for me, I'm
plus we can't record. Like, there's so many things that we
yeah,
can't like.
there's a I mean, just working right now. Obviously, I'm not
Yeah,
working, so
work. I
finance.
being in the film industry is terrible right now.
Yeah, for real, it's awful. Like I was fixing up my resume. I was in the process of going out and trying to find like a new gig. And yeah, that's going to shit at the moment. And then other little stuff like I know people are having fun playing video games and whatnot. Like I haven't played a video game in a few years, and there's like no way I could connect. There's no way I could play video games right now. It's like my son is here, baby G's here, so it's like there's no way I could play with him here. And then at nighttime, my wife's home if I start playing video games while
You and
she's
him
around.
should
Like
play
that's
Gears of
just
War.
yeah, that'll go over well. I think I only have.
That's what
I'll
I
get
would have.
mad at him.
That's what I would
I'll
have
get
done if
mad
I
because
was if I was his age.
he sucks. So
Oh,
we
there's
tried to play
Carlos.
that.
Now he
We
can
tried to play
moderate.
the. Cool. What's up, Carlos? Thanks. Everybody, say what's up to Carlos.
It
Hopped
is
in the chat real quick.
it is so boring. What's so boring? It is kind of boring. I've kind of felt bored lately, which is weird to say, but it's like it's been very
Life. If
unmotivating.
you could be doing the exact same thing that you've been doing for the last 6 months, but the second someone takes away your options, all of a sudden you feel
Yeah.
like the weight, and it's really like because I was thinking like I almost made like a stupid post on Facebook about how all this stuff's happening and really it just kind of shows me how much of a life I don't have because I'm like, oh shit, I haven't been doing anything lately, but I play a lot of DraftKings. Done. Like I guess the Turkish soccer league is still going, but I'm not
Well,
gonna
there
play
you go.
Turkish
Play.
soccer
Yeah, go. There you go.
to get all familiar with every Turkish player.
When FIFA
You
comes
know,
back, then you can,
oh, every Ozdemir or whatever.
I think they're all Uzdemirs.
Yeah, they're all every single one of them is Ozdemir. You know, every Iskan.
I
That's
think
my buddy Zeki, who may or may not be watching this. You know what? I'm gonna send him the link
actually that's
because he.
interesting. Is soccer done? I haven't heard anything about soccer
Oh
or
yeah, MLS
football.
is done.
Yeah. Well, no, no,
The
no. Like
Euro,
on a worldwide scale.
uh, Turkish soccer still going on. Um,
Hope you guys stock up on those toilet paper. Yeah. You know what? Actually, now that you mentioned that, I have
didn't
a
you talk
roll
about
right
like?
here.
Oh, and I like has the paper around it because
Cause
you
it's from
stole
a
it
toilet. It's from the
from
hotel
a
toilet paper.
hotel.
Hey, bro.
Oh man, I'm sitting here. I'm texting people who never. I'm texting all my friends who don't support the podcast right now to come and
Carlos
join
has a
us in the
bidet.
chat.
Oh, interesting.
You
When
know what?
in Italy,
I have a shower.
in
I just
Italy
hopped in the shower and washed my ass.
in Italy that was like a second urinal. Cause,
You're like,
cause
oh,
no, no, not like I didn't use it as one, but there's signs like do not pee in this.
and you still did it anyways.
No, not me. I didn't. No, I'm just saying. It sucks for Liverpool because we're gonna win the Premier League after like 30 years, but the league is. Carlos, you can just approve the messages if you want. You don't have to mark them as spam. We don't care. What happens when hotels run out of TP? I don't know. What's the most surprising thing? Vegas closed their hotels. That was what was been the most surprising thing because
Yeah, Vegas is
they don't close anything for anything. when when they had that huge shooting last year, they didn't close down.
no.
It was just
Why
like,
would they?
don't go to that casino. Just come to our casino.
It's the same person coming in and saying the same message over and over and over again. He just changed his screen name this time.
Do you think
You
that the
think YouTube?
attack was a China attack? I'm just going with the comments. Say we can start reading
No,
comments.
no, not at all. Not. I don't think so. I think that just the level of complexity is just to the virus
I mean, is
is
it
too
really
much.
complex? Is it really?
I think so, man.
You
I,
make
I,
it
I think
and you spread it, and that's kind of takes care of itself.
I think it's. I think people need to stop eating bats, man. You know, Really? I'm not even bullshit. It's not even a joke. I think people need to stop eating fucking bats. I saw the video. Like somebody showed a video of it, and it's disgusting. I mean, I don't. It's like I can't say it's disgusting. I don't want to say it's disgusting, but it's like it's disgusting in the sense of
Have
like
you
the
had a
way
bat
everything is
before?
caged on top of each other. No, I'm sure it's delicious. I'm sure it's amazing. It's one of the tastiest animals out there. I'm sure it's great. But it's just like you see like it's like if you went to a grocery store and you saw the meat like that, you wouldn't buy it. You'd be like, oh, this kind. Okay, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna go to another store.
Yeah,
Like
but I
there's
could say that
no.
about tongue too, like beef tongue, like lengua. You look at it, and me at least, and I'm like,
That's not what
mm,
I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is it's outdoors. There's no refrigeration. I don't know how much electricity they have. It's like it's not sanitary. It's like you going into a restaurant and there's like shit on the ground in the corner of the restaurant. You probably wouldn't eat at that restaurant.
depends on what
It's kind of the
restaurant it
same.
is.
It must be damn good.
I was gonna say, think of your favorite restaurant of all time, and if you went in there and there was a
Yeah.
pile of poop in the corner, you might still eat there, maybe.
Yeah.
Rickon, let's see. You think it's a conspiracy to control the pop? No, no, no. I do think that
The
viruses are designed by their nature to control the population, but not by people,
it's
just by nature.
it's it's Mother Nature fighting back. And yeah, the wet markets are a thing, like for sure. Like you got every kind of animal imaginable all caged next to each other, shitting on each other, eating each other's shit. I mean, they got fleas, they got ticks hopping from one thing to another. It's like, you know, it's not supposed to be that way, you know. Like animals are supposed to stick to their part of the ecosystem, and when they start leaving and going into other areas, problems start happening. That's why whenever you fly to another country, they're always asking if you have any fruit, vegetation, if you have any sort of like food with you. That's not. I think the only thing you can bring with you is like cured stuff, or even then, like when you go to Spain, you can't bring ham with you. You can't bring Spanish ham with you back to the States. Like it's got to go through a specific process. So who knows what kind of bacteria? You go to Hawaii, you can't bring. Somebody brought about 10 years ago. Somebody brought a few trees from Puerto Rico to Hawaii, and within that time span, uh, there's this tiny little frog that we're known for. It's like our native frog called the coqui. It's called the coqui because it goes. That's the sound it makes. Well, this tree had a bunch of them on there, and they're real small. You can't see them, and they only come out at night. Well, this tree had a few of them. They mated, and now the big island in Hawaii is completely infested with these little frogs. And the reason why they keep multiplying is because the natural predator isn't there. So there's no animals eating them. And then they're eating like this small bug that's part of like Hawaii's ecosystem. So they're messing it up too, all because somebody decided to bring a few trees over from the island,
Well, it sounds
you
like you
know.
need to send some Chinese people over to Puerto Rico. Might be able to solve that problem right away.
Oh man, we're getting taken down.
Hey, bro, this is what you're the one talking about, you know.
We're I think I was being pretty PC about this whole thing.
You know what else I have? I got a show off. Look at I got some
Carlos, is that what you know?
look I got some other
Oh
gold,
shit,
some
George.
liquid gold.
Oh yeah, that's worth some shit. Everybody give a shout out to Mr. George Columbus. He was a guest on our podcast a couple years back. He was on a season, was it season 2 of Silicon Valley, I believe?
I think so. It sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah, man. Give it up. Thanks for joining us, George. Good to see you in here. Wish I could see you in person, but ain't trying to catch that corona.
Ro- Rojo is saying I'm flexing. No, I'm not. Now I'm flexing. Hold on. I'll flex now with my
George corrected us. It was season 3.
I haven't finished
Yeah,
that show. I haven't finished it.
you like lost interest,
No,
man.
no,
I
no,
know.
no, no. It's weird. The last two seasons I watched both of them on the plane. Like with like times apart, like a year or two apart. Like I just happen to be flying, and I don't know why it's weird. It became like a plane show for me, like something to watch on the plane. Um, you know what's most interesting about all this? People who are going to school right now, because a few people in the comments have mentioned school and like exams and stuff. But could you imagine going to USC right now? How pissed, like, I would be so pissed right now if I was going to USC and then I had to have all of these like remote online classes. Like you go to, for film specifically. Like
Yeah.
you pay all this money.
So who knows what the fuck they're doing?
No, I still get emails from the dean. It's all online. It's all online right now. Like
No,
chats.
no, and I'm wondering like what the who knows what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? With school, like with those classes, like what the fuck is an what's an online what's an online film class? You know, unless you're media studies. You know what I mean? Crit
Even
studies, excuse me.
even then it's like you can't watch the movies in the theater anymore. You can't do it's just that really bothers me. Like that would bother me. I mean, not bothers me now, but let's see what else. What else has been going on lately? I mean, you got the whole scenario with the you were
Well,
explaining to me the other day. What?
before we talk about that, let's talk about some like real domestic shit here. Have you been to any grocery stores?
No, that's exactly what I was just about to bring up about the lines.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I went to well, I told you where I was at earlier, and then
Oh, I was on the phone with you.
I went
I
to
was on the phone with you
Target.
yesterday. So yesterday was St. Patty's Day, and I wanted to be a fake Irishman, and I went to Ralph's, which is like one of the local chains down here in Southern California. And I walk up just to try to find some Guinness, and the guy stops me. He's like, "Hey, there's a line. You got to go to the line." I was like, "What? It's a line?" And sure enough, yep, they had people waiting outside to go in the store, and it wasn't because the store was packed. It was because I don't know. The only thing I could think of was like maybe they had some sort of fight or riot inside the store. So to combat that, they're like, okay, we're just gonna have people wait and take their time on the inside. Because I could see it like you got like an extra roll of toilet paper, and someone's like, "Why do you have three rolls of toilet paper in your, why do you have three packs of toilet paper in your shopping cart? Let me get one of those." What the fuck are you doing? Then people fighting over shit like that and grabbing it, or you grab the last loaf of bread or something. Like I went today and to the one by my house. The other one was by my mother-in-law's house. Yeah, all the dried goods gone. No rice, no pasta, um, no canned goods except for corn. Like that's how you know. Like whenever there was a food drive, people would always give away. They would get nothing but creamed corn because it's like always the last thing on the rack.
Well, that's the.
um,
I
and
mean,
it's the same shit here.
my mom text. I wish I had the screen set up with these pictures, but because my mom works in the store and she was sending me like as of last night, like all of the aisles just freaking gone, just like of everything. They got shipments in today though, so like they're coming in. Things are coming in. That's why I'm still kind of optimistic. Things are still like slowly shipments are slowly coming in.
Yeah.
Stores are finally putting regulations of like limit one. Finally now all of a sudden like they're like, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't sell one guy all of our toilet paper. You know, but when I went into Target last week after we recorded the podcast, it was fine. There was no like none of the aisles were fine. I mean, not fine. Cleared out or whatever, emptied. It was like
Well,
it's
I've
it's
been to Target like two of the last 3 days, and there's nobody in there. But when I went to like the paper goods aisle, definitely cleaned out. Like it's like people show up. Oh, you guys got no toilet paper? No, you guys got no toilet paper. You guys got no paper towels. You got no hand sanitizer or anything, whatever. Well, hand sanitizer's been gone for a while, but you guys know what I'm saying. All that's gone. So like people seem to know that they're like, all right, well, I'm just not gonna bother. I'm just not gonna bother going to Target. So like, if you need to go like get other stuff at Target, if you need clothes or and shit like that, Target
the
is
hand
still good.
sanitizer shit still bothers me though, just because
Yeah, it's
it's a
ridiculous.
viral it's a freaking it's an airborne virus like Hand sanitizer is not going to protect you very much. Like in a real like if you come into contact with somebody, you're going to get it not because of hand sanitizer, but because it's in the air. Let's see. What do we have in the comments though? It's hard for me to do both. I'm assuming you have them open. Um,
I'll be glancing over here, and they're sorry guys if we're not getting to you right away. It's just it's a lot of people sending messages. So
let's see. Rickon, did you hear about the Chinese billionaire? Yeah, he's the creator or the founder of
Spokane,
Alibaba. So
Spokane is worse. Fairbanks is worse than Spokane. What's going on in West Strange? Tell us about Fairbanks, Alaska.
I've been to
There's only like
Fairbanks.
50, yeah, we know this.
I'm
All
just
right, I was
saying.
talking to Wes, not you, dickface.
I'm just saying. I've been to Fairbanks. There's more than 50 people there. Paper or water? Paper, because I have no problem drinking from the tap. That's the other thing too. Like everyone clearing out water, like water bottle. How many people drink water bottles?
I mean, there's a dude over the last 20 years. There's been a cultural shift where people stopped drinking tap water and
That I
they
think is
started
retarded. That's
going
the
to bottled
biggest,
water.
dumbest thing. Just buy a filter. I mean, you're paying for water. I mean, most people pay for water every month as a part of the utilities. That's literally, it's for drinking and showering and all that other stuff. What?
Wes Strange is the same guy that
Oh,
was fucking fuck, and he just came in with another name, and he and he totally duped me. He's put an actual legit like message down, and then just so he can go right back to fuck. Oh Christ!
gotta love
Well played, sir. Well
our
played.
subscriber base.
Holy shit!
So
Yeah,
I also read an article today. Back to articles that, and this is where I was when I brought up Russia earlier. I wanted to actually attach this piece to it, and then maybe in the future things I'll actually have the articles so I can pull them up. But
yeah,
um, the article was talking about how there was a leaked memo stating that this could go on for at least 18 more months, like from the White House leaked memo. And this is where I was thinking of the Russia thing because I'm like, this seems very like sketchy but then when you think about it, I kind of it's kind of not that far fetched. I mean, you have the governor, California governor, saying schools are not going to go back this year. He pretty much said that without confirming it.
I, I mean, well, yeah, there's that aspect to it, but I guess I guess my counter to that, or the Russia thing, anyways, is like I don't. How does Russia take over if they have nothing to take over with?
I don't think
You know what I
it's
mean?
I don't think it's about taking over. I think it's just about just weakening the superpowers. They can they can really right now the Dow again, we talk about Wall Street as if, you and I have stocks in it, but the Dow ended today where it was prior to Trump becoming into office. So you have to say if this keeps going, we're going to enter potentially a recession soon.
I mean, we already are in a recession.
Well, I mean long term. Like it's going to be a long term thing. It's interesting. I mean, they approved those bailout things, but I want to talk about one thing before because this is more pertinent to us. What's the long term effects of the movie industry?
Um, well,
And what's
everything,
up,
every
Faraz? Not ignoring you.
I, I think all productions are going to get moved back a calendar year. You know what I mean? Because now, because they didn't, because movies that were big movies that were supposed to come out in the next couple of months, or they stopped them releasing, obviously, because no one's going to the movie theater, which is, we can talk. I got something else attached to that we can talk to about a little bit later, but um, there's, if everything stops, so everything that we're shooting now is just going to start back up once everything's back to normal. So that just basically, I think that pushes everybody else that wasn't working back another year. You see what I'm saying? Like if you had a
Do
movie
you
that
think
got
it's that
greenlit,
simple though? I don't think it's that
I don't
simple
know
at
if
all.
I mean, it also depends on what the movies are, like what it, how
Sure, if
they.
you're
I think things are going to
Disney or
change because the world
Marvel,
has
you're
changed and stuff
fine,
like
but
that. It's going to affect smaller productions, absolutely, because the money's not going to be there when you come back.
that's what I'm talking
You
about.
know,
And then you
yeah,
also have,
that's
but then you
definitely
also have the push, like what I'm worried about, and I use quotes here because I don't really know. This is all uncharted territory, but what I'm worried about is a lot of these new movies are coming out, or that were coming out, or that were out for like a week or two, were now released on demand, right? Boom. So what I'm worried about is
except for Onward, fucking Disney.
not yet. I guarantee you it will be.
I
Just
don't.
wait.
Yeah,
The reason why they're not
I don't.
releasing it is because they're not
Well,
the Disney
they don't want
Plus.
them to get pirated immediately
No,
either.
I don't think it has to do with that at all. I read an article and it makes complete sense. Not about that movie specifically, but you get. I'll address the Disney thing. Like you buy if they release it on Disney Plus, someone like me can go get a Disney Plus subscription right now for $7 and watch that movie for $7. All of the other on-demand like VOD releases that have been happening are all $20 a pop. So they're making more money by releasing it on demand than they would in the theaters
Right.
theoretically, and that's actually what ties back to what makes me worried because none of these theaters were willing to do this day in day out release thing. And so now they're kind of forced to do it. Their whistles are wet a little bit. So now it makes me concerned that they might actually adopt this in the future. And if that happens, movie theaters really are going to start to dwindle. Not die, but you know, you got to
It's gonna
think
be. It's gonna turn into even more of a niche thing than it already is.
like if like for
But
example, The Hunt.
like a specialized thing.
Let's just talk about The Hunt for a second. I haven't seen it yet, but let's just pretend. Let's say the Hunt when it came out, if it was in a normal audience, it would have made 50 million, which it was for a Blumhouse movie. Maybe that's amazing, fantastic. Maybe that's a bad argument because Blumhouse already does video on demand for some releases. But let's do Onward instead then, since it's Disney or Pixar.
Yeah, babe. By the way, Baby G is asleep. He's been asleep about 45 minutes now. For thanks for asking.
But let's say Onward is going to make 100 million, 200 million, whatever. And now with this video on demand, let's say they gross 500-600 million dollars on sales, which they very well could be. That could
Mhm.
alter strategies going forward. So it's kind of I don't know because like Netflix is clearly benefiting from this right now, and thank God Disney's probably like thank God we got in the streaming game this year because if they wanted to
Oh
roll
yeah.
out like at the
Oh,
end of
this
this
is like
year or something,
I've been thinking this the whole time. Like this is gonna be great for Disney Plus because like people that were like on the fence about subscribing are now
they don't have any other choice because there's nothing else to do.
exactly like now they're gonna be like, oh well, I guess I will after all. You know. And I don't know. I'm a fan of Disney Plus. Like I like all the old movies. They have pretty much they keep on adding like the Fox movies too, so more and more Fox movies are getting on there.
Oh,
Um,
I'm not
so
against Disney Plus. I'm just more concerned about how this virus is forcing the market to shift, and that worries me because the film industry
yeah,
is
yeah.
very unstable as it is, or unstable as it is, and
Well,
then you
it's
you push it in one
it's
direction, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
but it's all cycles. I mean, this happened before. Like the reason why
Did it though?
movies are
Did it?
it did. Yeah, absolutely.
When was the last?
When TV came out, the 50s,
Oh
40s,
well,
when TV became mainstream, where everybody got a TV in their house, and the broadcasting they started putting out shows, the movies had to adjust because they were screening everything in 4:3. They had that's when we got our 16:9 or 1:3:5 whatever the ratio is. That happened because TV was like, oh, we
sh-
can just watch stuff at home,
sure.
and that was an answer
I
to it. And
think
all these like
I think this scenario is a little bit
IMAX
different
stuff
though.
like that. It is a little different because technology is so much faster and like just the home viewing experience is better than it's ever been before. And we're just lazier than we than we used to be.
Well,
We like
there was never
I
a
don't have
way
to
to
leave my
deliver.
house.
There was never a way to be on demand like we have now.
Yeah, absolutely,
So that's why
absolutely.
it's not exact. I get your argument, but I think this is different Be,
I think there's going to be an adjustment again though. Like, but it's definitely if
but
there's
this is
not
why it's
that many,
different. What is the
there's not a
adjustment? The adjustment would be to put these movies into the homes quicker. That's the problem that's the problem that the industry's been having with Netflix and Amazon. These little like streaming services that they spend however much money on the budget, and then that Friday, a week after that Friday, boom, it's like it's on their streaming library. Or in Netflix's case, they don't even stream it at all unless you happen to live in like Los Angeles or New York, and you get to see it for 3 weeks because they want it to be qualified for the Academy Awards or something. But all I'm saying is, if these industry,
yeah, but I mean, you could also argue that the those pictures that Netflix is dumping their money into aren't necessarily they don't necessarily need to be viewed on the big screen. It's not like they're doing Marvel films or
I don't agree. I don't like that argument because I feel like any movie should be watched on the big screen.
yeah, but that's because you're a purist. That's a little different.
No, but I
You're a
think
part of that niche.
no,
You're a part of that niche market.
I
You're on that.
think it's I think it goes into order like this. Number one is people watch your movie regardless of how they see it. I think that's the number one thing as a filmmaker. But number two is I personally feel like every filmmaker wants their movie to be shown in a movie theater if they had a choice. Now whether
Every
they can
filmic. Yeah,
Yeah, everyone, yeah, director, any director wants their movie to be shown. Now, they might have to take a deal where they can't show it or whatever, that's circumstance, but like
I just
you can't sit there and tell me that you wouldn't want to make a movie and have it shown in the theater.
I would want to
Yeah.
because just for the experience and just so my family can see it together. But like how other people consume it doesn't matter to me as much. And that's me saying someone that's never had a big project made, obviously, but that's kind of the way I look at it. As long as people are watching it and consuming it, I'm not as worried about how they watch it. It's more the like, and I don't know, like, and then it comes down to like you're purist, like you're cinephiles, I guess, is a way of putting it. But I think most directors are just happy that people are watching their movie. That's why Kevin Smith does what he does. He goes on tours in colleges, but he also puts everything out on demand right away as well because he wants people to watch his shit.
Well, not this
You know?
one, but I understand what your point is. I'm just saying though, but those are indies. I just think that I'm worried about the industry shifting. That's what the conversation for me is about. The industry as a whole shifting because of the coronavirus
No,
forcing them to
I
do
get you.
something.
I still think the big tentpole spectacle type films, people want to see them in the theater. I still think that's a case. I also like this. We've had this discussion slash argument. I don't know how many times on this channel, and it's always the same thing. Like I know you don't agree. I'm still of the opinion that pirating has like killed the mid major and the smaller film quite a bit because people don't care how they experience it, and
Sure,
that's
but
why there's so much
I'm
money.
just trying to relate it to the coronavirus though. I'm not
No,
trying to
and I
rehash
get
the
you, and I
argument.
get you. I no, I completely understand. But there's a reason why like Black Widow is not gonna Disney's not gonna put Black Widow out on demand. I don't think. I mean, I might be wrong. We'll see. We'll see in a few months, depending on how long this goes. But Fast and the Furious got pushed back because they're not gonna put it out on demand either. You know, because they're gonna make. I don't know how much money they make
Well,
off of their
because
IMAXs and their specialty. Their fucking Rumble chairs and all
well,
this
that's
stuff.
the thing. Yeah, they'll make their $1 billion on
Yeah,
that, and then they'll make another billion on the on demand later.
right. Exactly. Exactly. So like those movies are safe, but all this is going to do is I'm with you on the fact that all this might do is put even less films into the theater, you know, make even less feature films, really, you know.
But let's see what's
But
in the
that's what's like,
let's see what's going on in the chat because we've been talking, and as someone
damn,
said,
Poo Poo Jenna's not happy with it. You two can talk this shit without this live streaming. Well, we're doing it live so you guys get it rough, rugged, and raw, uncut. Number one, and two, it's because we're also doing it through Skype, so might as well go live with it. We're not in the same room with each other, so it's a little bit different. But apologies. You
someone
know,
wants to punch me in the face. That's normal. Seems about right. Let's
okay,
see.
Sir Suicico. I really love how like your nasty comments all the time. I appreciate them. We do definitely need to get back on the review train. I just finding the time for me to get these movies in is going to be. I'm going to do my best. I'm like, I'm just making excuses. Never mind. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Let's see. Let's keep going to questions. How many are affected there in the U.S.? In
Daniel
India,
is the
it's
crying
165.
virus.
Um, I don't know what the total is for America. What's the total right now? The statistics for America. Let's see. Let me look it up. If
Yesterday it was over 100. I don't know how many people died today. I know that's where it's at.
let's see. I'm looking it up right now. I think it's as of this 4 hours ago, 9,464 cases, deaths 155, recovered 108, according to what this says. Currently, New York has the most total cases with 3,086.
Miguel says there's 7,800 confirmed cases. Miguel is a ER nurse, for the record.
Well, there you go. Uh,
Dark Angel 4,000 guys. Dark Anger 4,000 guys.
I think, yeah. And California has 887 according to this, plus 39 today, new cases today. Total deaths 17. I was reading some stats that like most majority of the people who are dying are older though, like over 80, over the age of 80. Not that that makes it any better, because like you said, it's relatives. It's not just like you and I might be fine, but it's other things like that, or like people who have to work during this time, like my mom. Like she's considered essential personnel. Like the city of Los Angeles is giving her her mask either yesterday or today or
Right.
tomorrow, because like she has to work. She's considered essential, so like she has to be. Just during this whole process, it's good that she'll be employed, but it's like she has to put herself out there at risk of
Yeah.
infection every single day.
And I want to respond to a question from Faraz Munshi. With mortality rates very low, what do you think the lockdown is for? Ultimately, it might not kill any more people than the season. Flu kills every year. The lockdown is to make sure it doesn't spread, and it's already killing people at a higher rate than the normal flu does. It's not the same total amount of people, but the percentage of people who have died from it is like 5 or 6 times higher than the regular flu. So it's definitely more contagious than the flu. That's why they're trying to lock people down to make sure it doesn't spread. They're trying to buy time to get a vaccine. They're trying to buy time to get more tests to confirm how many people actually have it. That's really what all they're trying to do. All this
Yeah,
is doing is
that's
sure
that's the big
to
thing,
slow it down so they
because
can
we
get
don't we don't
the
have
test.
America doesn't have enough testing, so like it could be way worse than it's being perceived to be as. Even for me,
Right.
who's not really being a doomsayer about this, but if all of a sudden everyone gets tested and boom, oh no, we actually don't have 9,000 cases, we have 150,000 cases or whatever, then it's like, uh-oh. Then people are going to start to really panic, I think. Even though I'm going to say this, I've said it to you offline, I don't think the numbers are there yet right now. That doesn't mean they won't continue. That doesn't mean, but doing what we're doing right now is slowing it down without a shadow of a doubt. There's no way that what we're doing right now isn't slowing things down. But I do have to say the statistics are not there for me to be ultra concerned yet. But that could just be because of the lack of testing.
It's been 3 fucking weeks too, dude. I
It's
mean,
been longer than that.
it's been 3 weeks really since like people started taking it serious here.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
been three
no,
weeks
taking it serious,
since
but it's been
it's
going
been
on a
it's
little
been
longer than that.
it's been it's been 3 weeks since President Trump was like, "This is all a hoax. This is no big deal." To like now freaking out, completely changing his tune.
Sure,
Yeah.
but that has nothing to do with my point
What I'm
though.
saying is, it's the same argument. People are like the conservatives, which I keep seeing people seem posting the same meme about the swine flu. It's like they keep on pointing that out when it's like, yeah, you're throwing out statistics from 9 months. You had 9 full months of the swine flu pandemic here versus 3 weeks of what we have here. You can't do a one for one just yet. And hopefully at the end of this, yeah, hopefully it's nothing.
I
Hopefully
mean,
it's
it's better to
nowhere near
overreact than to not.
swine.
But
But part of it is too is like you don't want to you want to overreact to these kind of things. You don't want to like, oh, it didn't kill that many people at the end, so like we didn't have to take any precautions at all. Like that's
no,
not the attitude.
I
Yeah,
think the precautions are good. I'm just saying, for me personally, at the same time though, that doesn't mean panic. That doesn't mean hoard everything. We're not in like The Walking Dead
no,
yet.
that's stupid.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
that
say.
yeah,
Because
that's that.
the numbers aren't there to make me feel like this is literally the end times are upon us, you know. Which is, if you were to read articles and stuff, or just the general feeling that I get, I feel like that's what a lot of people think, that like the end times are upon us, like this is it. I can't buy toilet paper, I can't buy this, and it's like, you know, it's like what people always say about earthquakes here in California. Who's really ready for earthquakes? Like
Right.
the big one, you know, like that would be bad right now. Is if like in Salt Lake City, there's in Utah today, there's almost a 6.0, and there's no earthquakes there. So imagine if we had a big earthquake now, then we'd be in problems. Then we might have martial law if something like that happens. Because I mean,
Absolutely.
I talked to you about this before, about how, you know, it's been raining here in LA. It's going to continue to rain for the next week or so, and probably more in the coming months. Fire season's going to come at the end of the year, and
Hmm.
you know, if this is still going on, we got to our firefighters going to be like, what's going to happen there? I mean, are we going to be able to stop that? Are we going to have like water? Is water going to become an issue at that point? Power, is power going to become an issue at that point? You know what I mean?
Well, let's just hope that the power companies like handled all their wires and shit this time around to make sure they
But
don't
you,
cause a big fire again. Because the
but you,
last two fires have both been linked to power companies.
but you know that they didn't, because the last time the fires were, what were they doing? They were doing rolling brownouts just to save themselves. They were cutting power to places. So,
Brainless Turner. Yeah, everything is shut down here except for grocery stores. Restaurants you can still get takeout and pick up. But other than that, yeah, anything that would like the grocery store is pretty much the only place where you can be in contact with people, you know, and Target and stuff
I
like
mean,
that. Walmart.
there's other places. Not
I mean, you
everyone's
can go to the
closed.
park, yeah.
Not everywhere's closed. Like there's some some people are closing gyms. Like my friends, you know, down at the boxing gym, it's closed to the public, but it's still open for like certain people. They're just keeping it very tight knit, and like very, like if you're not in there like in the circle, you're not getting into the gym. But like it's open, you know.
Well, it's not open then. That's
Well, it's open if you're paying for a membership, you know. It's like a members, like, but it's to the public. It's not open. Oh, what's up, Jaime? 24-hour lockdown in San Francisco. Oh, is that a new thing? I didn't know that. Is that something you're privy to? The this
I
24.
didn't know that. In the city proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's news to me.
See,
My buddy Juan,
what's the
my
difference
buddy
between a?
Juan from comic and figure addicts just uh just texted me that he blames 5G,
Oh,
which is the DC, the new DC, the thing that they're rolling out, or they're supposed to be rolling out.
oh, I thought you meant 5G cell phone service.
Yeah, no, no, no.
I didn't know that they had. Yeah, first. Oh, I guess this was yesterday. That's see, yeah, that's like one step removed from martial law, though. I mean, how long
It's
can you
not.
really keep that up?
It's not all the way there though, because Andrew's up there. He's still driving Uber in the streets, and he said there's still people out and stuff. Just not. He says his dad, he ain't making any money, but they're not stopping cars in the street. You know,
Damn,
people just.
what's the update on your brother, Jaime? Is everything going well, or what's the story there? Let's see. Why is Daniel worried about the gym being closed?
uh,
Cause bro,
I,
I gotta
I,
keep these gains up.
Abe Lale, martial law means when like basically like the cops are patrolling the streets to make sure that nobody's out. Like the military is basically, it's not the
They're
cops, it's the military.
it's the
When the
military.
military is the law and they're in control and they're basically shutting down cities to make sure that no one, you'll have like curfew and stuff where you can only be out between these hours, and then after that you could get arrested if you're out past those hours, or
Or shot.
it's or shot. It's usually happens during war, stuff like that, because they just
It's the most drastic measure the government can do.
yeah, it's up there.
I don't know what's beyond that for as an American.
Gulzia said God needs to uninstall Plague Inc. like yesterday. Yeah,
Better than
for
the
real.
purge. Yeah, this is definitely better than the purge. I'd have to say that for sure. So do you think this lockdown will help reduce? Yeah, I think any lockdowns will help reduce anything for now. For now, because you can't keep people locked down forever. Like,
Well, it's look, South Korea so far has been doing the best to treat this, and they basically the difference between here and South Korea is that South Korea had enough tests. So if you were in contact with someone, and this is me, I might they might not have had enough tests. This is my gross assumption, but it seems like if you had symptoms that gave you a test, if you came back positive, you were put into isolation. Like you weren't not with your friends and family, you were put into isolation. And that's like basically if you tested positive, they separated you from everybody else. And they were able to like get a handle on this more than anywhere else. The deaths have gone down as well. It hasn't spread there. That's not what's happening here. So they're trying to do that differently by doing isolation, telling everybody to stay at home. Because just be really hard. It might be actually against the Constitution to like hold somebody because they're sick, like lock them up and
I'm
put
not
them in there
laughing at you. I'm
for
reading the
years.
chat. North Korea has the best treatment. Boom, headshot.
I know, dude. That, I mean,
It
it was a
works.
Daily Sun. It's a Daily Sun article. People are posting,
Oh, this is a thing. I didn't know this was a thing. You have to
yeah,
explain
people are
this to
posting
me.
like the Daily Sun's kind of like the National Enquirer in the UK, and it said
No,
like,
I know who they are, but
confirmed. It's like North Korea confirmed test gets shot in the head immediately after. You know,
I mean, we're not
and
at
I,
that
it's
point
like,
yet. At least we're.
I mean, they're probably doing that shit in Russia if you think about it. That's why there's only
There's like
63 cases
I
in
was gonna
Russia. It's like
say
the second you're confirmed, dude, Putin don't fuck around.
they throw you in the gulags, and
Yeah,
it's a lot.
yeah, you get isolated there. That's your quarantine, a gulag quarantine.
Oh man. World government controls energy, food supply, education, healthcare, financial, and also media and surveillance spies. They basically control the world. I don't know about this New World Order stuff, to be honest with you.
Apparently, I'm part of it because I'm doing some sort of
Oh no, that's
thing.
like white nationalist stuff.
Oh, I was doing some sort of hand signal. I don't know in one of our videos, and someone keeps commenting, "Gian, you did it again."
Well, this is like white nationalist.
Well, not the Cyclops thing. It's something else. I did some other thing in our picture or something. I've done it more than once, and I'm part of the Illuminati apparently. If only.
Faraz says another reason could be that South Korea has a younger population than Italy, which has more percentage of old people than the rest of Europe. See, I that's what I think. I agree with that assessment. That what's happening with Italy is being it's going crazy because the amount of older people who live there.
Yeah, but the young people are like
In terms
critically
of
ill. The only
dying, not
yeah,
contracting the
well,
disease, but dying.
what makes Italy so gross is that you go to the hospital, and if they deem that you're too old or you can't survive it, they basically put you in another room and they like leave you there to die, and they keep you away from your family too. I heard this. I listened to this podcast from 2 days ago on the Daily. The doctor in Pergamo, Italy, and he talks about it like they they separate people and they basically leave them there to die away from their family because they don't want their families to get contracted, and then they forget that they die, or they're just so busy they can't contact the family. So when the family calls, it's like 2 days have passed and their relative has died. So they have like younger people getting sick too, like they're going to recover, but younger people are getting fucked up pretty bad too. It's not, they might not be dying from it, but it's not something. It's not a regular head cold where you just take a couple days off and you're good to go.
No, I get that.
That's
I need
you
if
know
you need a
you
if you need a ventilator, this is not normal stuff.
right, but that's the way people are trying to play it out to be like, oh, they're not dying from it, but you're on a fucking ventilator. Come on, that's pretty fucking bad. You know,
I'm just
like,
saying that my whole thing is about old people. That's all I'm saying.
damn, Carlos came in and moderated for like 10 minutes and then dipped out. He's like, I'm good.
Well,
Fucking
because
this fucking America's Most Wanted troll just chased him out of here.
Jaime heard there's a H5N1 flu in China now. Oh, that's great.
Well,
Or that could
at
be
least,
Russia propaganda. Russian.
but they're also not flying over here, so
Yeah, so it's just gonna screw them over.
yeah,
Daniel,
that's where
have
the
you
whole
watched
bot.
Watchmen? Yep, definitely.
I
Um,
just finished it last night.
well, we definitely should talk about it, but not on this podcast because this is a
It's Corona only.
Corona only. Yeah. Oh, Aaron Dowell's here. What's up, Aaron? That's part
What's
of it.
up,
They're also
Aaron?
overloaded with their health system. Gian is right. They've run out of medical beds. Yeah, I've read that too. About especially with California, they're trying to buy hotels just to make them into beds. Governor Newsom says it's like for homeless people, but I don't think that's the case. I feel like if the state of California's responsibility is to cover those who are not homeless first, and then worry about homeless people last. Is that messed up to say?
No, you hate homeless people, so it's.
I,
I mean, it's messed up to say, but
you can't say
you
that I
know,
hate them, but I'm just I'm just saying like they don't the state of California doesn't care about them anyway, like normally. So now all of a sudden coronavirus now they get
it's it's a messed up situation because Reagan got rid of all the loony bins because somebody challenged this. It went to Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court they said like you can't hold someone against their will, you know, regardless if they're mentally ill or not. So when that thing passed in the Supreme Court, by the way, one of Reagan's judges, I'm sure, was appointed Supreme Court judges. So they helped make sure that it passed. That shut down all the mental hospitals. And that's when the homeless epidemic
That's
started
fair.
in the 80s.
What
And then
Aaron
it
says
spun
is
out of
what
control
Aaron
now.
says is well, sure, we've covered that though. What Aaron said is valid that they can spread it, but at the same time though,
They're not, I feel like homeless people they're not going to be in contact with people who are infected as much.
or maybe they are. I don't know.
Maybe they're, who knows? You know, I mean, it just depends on how many people were sick went into Starbucks, really, you know.
But how do you monitor
Fucking
them? How do you monitor them
fucking
too?
racists in Philadelphia. This is all those racists in Philadelphia. One racist
But how do you?
Starbucks in
But
Philadelphia
how do you monitor
ruined it
them?
for all of us.
How do you monitor
You
them
can't
though?
monitor them. You can't monitor them. You can't. It's a tough one because if they're already dying in the street, the more of them start dying in the street. There's just a contact issue. Like people already stay away from homeless people. They're gonna stay even further away from them now. You know, if they start turning into zombies, then we have something to worry about.
I mean, I don't know about that. That's
You
a whole
know,
nother situation. I don't know.
yeah.
I think it's but I still think we're in a situation where it's I guess there's no real easy answers, but at the same time you can't really I still just think panicking is the wrong thing to do regardless. If we're running
Well,
out of beds, we're doing I mean cuz we
I
don't
don't
have
think anybody, I don't think anybody's on board with panic. Like nobody's like, oh, panic is cool. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, but you say that, but then you go to the supermarkets that we keep talking about and it's
Oh,
like
dude, this is like the total herd mentality going on. Like they see one person loading up on toilet paper, they hear, oh shit, they're out of toilet paper. Out of those guys in Tennessee that went and cleared out all the hand sanitizer, it's their fucking fault. Them going out and clearing out the hand sanitizer made everyone be like, oh fuck, I can't get hand sanitizer now. And now it's like this whole big rush to grab shit because it's just a domino effect, and it's just the majority of people just don't think about that shit. It's herd mentality, and then the people that do actually consider what's going on is like, oh fuck, now I got to go and get shit too
Because there's nothing
because
to get.
there's nothing to get. Exactly. And it's like, now, well, fuck, now that I need something, you know, I've we've been lucky. Like we haven't had to do like one big, huge run. We're doing, there's only three of us here. So that helps, and I went in, I knew this was going to happen. So I went and got the stuff that we needed, you know, well, Maria, she wants to take credit. So my wife knows everything. She knew that we were supposed to get load up on food, but
Well,
it's just basically because mostly, I don't know, you guys, any of you have kids, go to the grocery store and try to wait in line for 45 minutes with the 2.5-year-old and see how well that goes for you guys. Let me know. Let me know in the comments section. it's just, it's not funny.
Aaron said it best. People act like they shit more now than they did 2 months ago, which is, my big piece of advice is just eat meat. Just eat meat. Don't eat anything else. You will not shit. You will not shit as much. It'll just
But
stay
you know
with.
what? I just it just shows me how many people are afraid of washing their ass. There's people out there, they don't want to wash their ass
Are baby wipes
whatsoever.
gone?
Baby wipes are gone too, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's the one thing I didn't know. I was curious about baby wipes being gone. So what if
Yeah,
you
people.
so how are people wiping their baby butts? Their baby's butts?
Uh,
What's the what's
uh,
the sanitary way to do that? Shower every time?
yeah, you just put dude. My son, when he was a baby, I didn't use wipes. I
Oh.
washed him under the sink after everything. He didn't. My wife was a wipe user. I didn't use wipes on him. He got washed every time. Soap, warm soap and water every single time. You know. Now he weighs 40 pounds, so it's a little harder. My arm gets tired.
But that's the thing about being a parent. You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, yeah. But no, yeah. But it went. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but I think I at least had talked to you in passing that people were buying like the 24 packs of 16-ounce bottles, and I'm like, the whole water section is full of gallons and 1.5 gallons, and the expensive water, and people are like ignoring the gallons. So I went and loaded up,
Except Dasani.
except to sign. Um, pe- people like people now cleared out the gallons and stuff too because that's all that's left. But the expensive water is still there, like the electrolyte water,
Voss. The
yeah,
Norwegian
although
water.
what's the water that's it's positive, it's not acidic,
Oh, smart
the
water?
pH balanced water. No, just like pH balanced water in
Oh.
general. That's like it's
Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
what's
yeah.
the what's the term I'm looking for? No, the term that it's not
Neutral?
acidic. It's alkaline.
Alkaline.
Like the alkaline water's still there because it's like $4 a bottle for people are like, I don't need to drink water that much. I'm good with tap water. Then I guess if I got to spend that much money, but you know
I
you can
like
still find that. But
I
the,
like
the
LA
gallons
water.
are gone.
I like
The
my
one and a
Los
half gallons
Angeles
are gone.
water. I mean, we don't live in
Yeah,
Flint. We don't live in Flint,
I
Michigan.
mean, you still got the Brita filter and stuff too. Like
No filter.
if
I like it. Those minerals are good.
well, you like some nasty water, man.
Maybe that's why I haven't got coronavirus yet. I'm just
You like that.
built up immunity to it. I do have a movie
Some ice.
recommendation that if you haven't seen, I think is I just rewatched it the other day. I've championed this movie forever. Uh, Contagion. I think you should rewatch Contagion or watch it. I don't know if I don't. You probably never seen it.
Is that Matt Damon?
He is in it. It's not his movie though, but he is in it. That's a it's good. It's a pretty good movie. It's Rick and Contagion was boring. You're boring. See, Aaron, L.A. tap water. He knows. He had that CPT water, that Compton water. Oh,
Okay.
I guess everyone thinks Contagion's shitty. Whatever. I guess I'm in the minority. I liked it. I still like Contagion.
Anyways, I got to get out of here, guys. If you can you stay on? Can I get off? And we
No,
are you?
it's gonna disconnect everything. So let's just wrap it up. Let's spend another minute and wrap it up then.
So I just want everybody to know that I'm a bad husband. Today is my third anniversary with my wife. We got married 3 years ago today, and yeah, we spent it with me recording a podcast um,
Well,
and eating fajitas.
you have the perfect excuse. It's not like you go to a restaurant or go out to a bar or do anything.
Yeah, I can't. But to be fair, the baby's asleep, so gonna make a cocktail, share a cocktail with my wife, and let's see. We're gonna try to do that. I don't want to tell anybody when we're gonna do this next. Because I don't, because you guys are great at like holding us accountable for like lying, because we do it all the time. So I'm not gonna say when we're gonna do it next, but we're gonna do it soon.
More often than not.
See, we're supposed to lock down as we are now.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, folks. Really appreciate it, guys. We hope to see you on the next one, and check out our podcast that dropped yesterday if you haven't already. We're a little behind. We were like a week behind everything that's going on, but there's some interesting stuff there, and we'll see you next time.
All right.